Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Tabletop Tavern. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jenny. I will be your dungeon master for the entirety of this campaign and all campaigns to come, so don't think about stepping on my toes, players. I'm gonna let my players, who I just threatened, introduce themselves, starting with the beautiful, the fabulous, the effervescent Victoria Shaz.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria and I play Leon the Bell.
Hi everyone, my name is Ryan and I play Galen.
Hi, I'm Doe, or Doadir, and I play Gris Littlefoot.
I'm Pippin, and I play Ariadne and Kailte.
Hi, I'm Lucat, and I'm going to be playing Mung.
Alright, yeah, so we have a special guest today. Very exciting. Thank you so much for joining us, Lucat. For those of you who weren't here last episode, I'm going to give you a quick rundown before we jump into today's session. Last episode on the Tabletop Tavern, the party found themselves in the holy city of Talerneth. There they passed from temple to temple, seeking answers in regard to the silence of the gods. Leon took the opportunity to take her oath of redemption in the temple of Sune, where Ariadne ran into an old flame, or something like that. Ari's trip down memory lane continued at the Temple of Sylvanas, where they encountered an old friend, Adia, who took them to Herman Wildfern, a wise but eclectic druid who provided them with most of the song of the lizard who swallowed the sun, then proceeded to tell them of a mysterious worshipper of a fallen god residing somewhere in the Sea of Trees, assuring the party that Ariadne's knowledge of the woods would lead them to where they sought without much difficulty. Before they left the holy city, the party stopped by the Temple of Umberlee and encountered a mysterious yet familiar stranger whose very existence left Galen reeling. That brings us to today. So, when last we left off, you had all headed to a tavern, with Ariadne offering to buy Galen some drinks, because it seemed like maybe he was going to need them. You depart the party, I mean, yeah, it was a party. You depart the tavern the next morning. Leon complains of the discomfort of the bed in the cheap inn. Galen is nursing something of a hangover after allowing Ariadne to counsel him through the previous day's shocking revelation. The wood elf is chipper, upbeat, and not remotely hungover at all, leading the party in the direction of the Sea of Trees. Gris hobbles along them excitedly, asking all kinds of questions about how they know the way and where exactly are we going, and are there going to be any more halflings because we just saw one, but never quite lets them get in a word edgewise. You pass into the forest around mid-morning and stop briefly for lunch. Gris manages to pick quite a few mushrooms as it is autumn and they are very bountiful. She seems very excited to be back in the woods in her home. Sometime just before evening, you find yourselves stopping. The trail, the path, the road you've been following just kind of ends, leaving you in a thicket of trees. Ariadne kind of stops and squints at the trees in front of you, as if they don't necessarily know where to go from here.
Ari, is the path just ended?
I'm not certain. I mean, I know that all the trees look alike, but I don't know that I know where to go from here.
Should we just keep going in the same direction?
I would like to do a perception check.
Nature check.
I would like to do a nature check.
Could I also do a nature check?
Yes.
I'm not going to do that because dump stat.
11 plus 2, 13.
I got 12. 6 plus 6.
I have a 6 plus 0, 6.
Oh, wow. Okay, Leon.
That's a shocker.
We're actually gonna start with Ariadne. Okay. Ari, you take a look around, and you suddenly realize that it's really weird that this halfling just sort of assumed you'd be able to find your way in the woods because you're a wood elf. Like you know where you live around your temple, but you're absolutely right. The trees look exactly the same. And there's not any dryads here, which kind of sucks, because at least those are pretty ladies you can ask for directions. Gris, you take a few moments. You notice that the earth kind of leading to your right is kind of trodden down as if someone's been walking there. But you get distracted as well, because there's a beautiful chicken of the woods. about the size of your head growing out of the roots of the tree closest to you. And it's all you can think about.
Oh my
Leon,
God.
there's dirt here. You don't like it. It's Your feet are dirty, your shoes are really nice. Maybe the weird wood elf staring at you from next to that tree has some answers about where you're supposed to be going.
Leon, upon noticing the wood elf, kind of goes, "Oh,
It's beautiful, right?
Leon looks
It's
at
massive.
Gris and looks back at the wood elf and says, "Hi," in Elvish.
Gris kind of slowly turns her head around. She's like, huh. Oh. Hi.
Do I recognize this wood elf, or are they a random wood elf?
They're a random wood elf. They're kind of like looking over your party for a few seconds before responding to Leon. And Leon, this wood elf looks to be about Ari's age. So you would say maybe mid to late 20s, but probably well over 100 years old. They look at you for a moment and go, hello. And then they turn to Ari and say in Sylvan, where are you going, Forest Child?
I, noticing them and just like back at Leon in this whole situation,
Leon's looking at
answer
Ari
them
like...
back. Yeah, answer them back. It like curious as to why they chose Sylvan, but answer them back in like my not fluent, but not broken, Sylvan. And just answer, well, we're actually looking for someone, but I think they were the person who sent us was under the impression I'd know where to go, and I think they were misinformed about my sense of orientation.
You're lost in the woods?
Gris chuckles and says, well, they said the trees are all the same. I get it. There's no more path. There's some dirt over there, but
absolutely not the same. This one has 127 bottom branches, and this one has 125 bottom branches. Surely as a druid, you must know that.
Gris squints, and then she's like, yeah, you're right. I guess if I had paid closer attention. And then she kind of like side-eyes the mushroom growing from the nearest tree.
Who are you and your varied friends looking for?
We're looking for someone named Mong. Did I say that right?
Mong.
They seem to worship the goddess Tiphine.
Oh god, you're looking for the goblin? Yes, I'm familiar.
Oh. Well, could you take us?
Well, that's fortunate.
Yeah, well, you're on the right path. And the wood elf kind of like looks at your party for a moment and goes, Are you sure you want to go see the goblin?
We were told that
Yeah.
he's got the most information that we need.
Okay, I mean...
We have been warned that he may be a little
Prickly in
eccentric
nature.
and irritable.
Yeah, he's an asshole. Alright. Well, hopefully you don't mind getting your feet dirty. And they like kind of look down at Gris's feet and are like, okay, never mind.
Nope,
And
don't mind.
turn back to Leon and say in Elvish, I will take you to what you're looking for.
Leon kind of like blinks and looks at Ari and Gris and is like, okay, yeah. And just responds with, sure, okay. Yeah,
Sorry,
this is fine. Everything is fine.
I forgot to translate.
Oh, it's good, Gris. It's all good. Leon's like switched to common to like, it's fine, Gris. I assume we're going the right way.
With you?
Is which one?
Yes.
The skinny one? The man with the...
Yes.
Galen, yeah.
Does he not speak Elvish?
He does
No.
No.
So I sort of like look. I've been like playing with my dagger this whole time, just not really paying attention, just kind of like cleaning it. And I look up and I go, "Oh, hi."
Leon says, "Can I touch your hand for a moment?" To the elf.
You certainly may not.
Okay. Well, then he will continue to not speak Elvish. She
Well,
says,
is he capable of walking?
"Yes."
Okay, well then we'll be
And
fine.
swimming.
Well, that probably won't come up.
Oh, okay. I'm just letting you know.
The wood elf kind of pulls aside some branches and shows you what appears to be a thin footpath. It's kind of overgrown and weird, and says, just follow that and you'll get where you're going. I'm not coming with you, though. About 15 years back, I had a guy who was supervising me over at the Sylvanas temple. He used to make us visit him, and he's just awful. I mean,
I think we
I
may
hope
have
he
met
helps
him.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How's he
Herman?
doing? Still short?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes,
halfling
by
thing. It's
nature.
not short. He's actually quite tall for a halfling.
I think the operative term there is for halfling, Gris.
Well, I just don't appreciate you calling tall halflings short.
Okay.
I beg
Leon
your
is like,
pardon,
"All
druid.
right."
The wood elf, looks to Ari and says, "You're good?"
Yes, your help is more than enough, and I understand not wanting to deal with these folks.
It's fine. I just, not a lot of people in these woods. I mean, people who aren't. And, he kind of does,
Yeah.
a little, elf ear gesture.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
then does a little bow towards you and then starts to walk away.
Before he walks away, Gris has been slowly chipping away at this chicken of the woods on the tree. And she's like, wait. Thanks. Take it home and cook it for dinner. It's delicious.
The wood elf takes the chicken of the woods, looks at it, takes a bite of it raw, and goes, and then walks away.
Gris just kind of smiles and gives him a singular nod. Just turns around and starts headed towards the path.
While the
game
wood-
recognized game.
Yes.
While the wood elf is walking away, Leona's kind of mocking the fact that they did the ear thing, and she looks at Ari and is like, "Are my ears not pointy enough?"
No, they're perfectly pointy enough for yeah, no, they're fine. They're
Okay.
for
Love that for me.
for A-list for
Yeah. Oh, they're too pointy for A-list. Sorry, they're too pointy for A-list.
So who was that?
I don't know.
You guys never asked for her name.
Leon turns to Galen and is like, "Yeah, I don't know."
Nor did he ask for
I
ours,
don't-
though. I don't think.
I didn't understand a word any of you were saying. So.
I didn't understand
He
half of it
basically
either,
was
so
just
we're in
like-
the same boat.
Are you sure you want to go see Mung? And we were like, yes. And he said, I don't want to go, but this way. That was kind of the whole discussion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So should we go?
Are you gonna head down this path?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I do a perception check on the path? Make sure there's nothing fishy, sketchy, awry.
Sure. Yeah.
Can I assist on that?
You would also like to roll a perception check?
Yeah.
Why do I keep getting 6s? 6 plus 3, 9.
It's a path. It's got dirt on it. The moss is nice. You like the moss. It's
That's a
cool
natural
underneath your
20.
little feet.
Plus 9, so 29.
Plus 9? What the hell?
He'd
Yeah,
be a
he's
rogue.
finally got rogue modifiers, and it's making me angry. So, Galen, you take a look at the path for a moment. You look up and down. You're sort of just kind of taking it in, and as you do so, you realize that someone has set up some kind of tripwire
Oh, good.
across the path about 5 feet in front of Gris. It appears to be attached not to anything particularly serious, but what looks to be like a basket of rotting apples set atop a wooden plank. So that whoever sets off this tripwire will be smacked with rotting fruit.
Okay. Can I disarm the trap?
Yeah, go for it. Do you?
You're not gonna warn me?
You gotta roll for it though.
What would that be? Sleight of hand?
We're gonna call it sleight of hand for now.
Okay. 18 plus 6, 24.
All right, you disarm it and are left with a broken tripwire and a basket of rotting apples that has now been rendered harmless.
Sweet. So I take the basket and I kind of just like turn to everybody and say, so we got to be careful. And I sort of just like put the basket down and just be like,
The elf did say he was an asshole, but as booby traps go, it's pretty tame.
I was gonna say.
Gris nods. It is a little stinky, but even I
could
think I
always
could
clean
survive
us.
that one.
And Leon kind of like waves her hands and is like, I could do like the prestidigitation thing.
I think that these were meant for, I don't think anybody's going to want these. So let's just keep going.
Agreed.
Unless
So
we
you
can
think-
bring it back to the goblin, maybe.
Bring these
Yeah,
rotting
welcome.
apples back.
No.
I don't know.
think- no, actually.
I don't really want to carry them.
So
I'm gonna carry the rotten apples back to.
You're gonna bring the rotten apples back to. Okay, all right,
Yes.
go for it.
So special.
All right, are you continuing down this path?
Yes.
Yes.
Players of mine. All right.
But carefully.
The path leads through kind of this thick, crowded wood, but does eventually open up into a clearing. It's not particularly large, maybe 15 feet by 15 feet, and directly across from you is what appears to be just a large, burnt-out tree. You kind of, from what you can tell, there's a door set in the center of it, and carefully carved, ornate steps leading to this kind of underwhelming, burnt-out tree.
How big is this tree?
Is this like Winnie the Pooh tree? Or
I mean, kind of. It's very large, yes. It's large enough that you could fit, like, a normal-sized room in the center of it, presumably.
Oh, wow.
okay.
Leon kind of looks around and says, so should we knock? Ari, how does this work?
Why would you think I would know? I've never been here.
No.
Herman thought the same thing. I don't know where you're getting your information. You've known me for quite a few months.
You do the god thing, and then also you do the wood thing.
I do the wood
tree
thing too, and you never ask me.
It's just because it's in the name Wood Elf doesn't mean I know my way around the woods, Leon.
Do we knock?
Hello.
Can Gris walk up to the stairs and get a closer look at
I
the...
just shout. I just shout.
Scream.
Hello.
Gris, you approach the door as Galen's yelling. As you approach the door, you come up to the stairs, which you really appreciate. It seems like they've been carved for someone with little legs. You wouldn't have to, like, strain yourself to get up them. There's also a railing to them, which is quite intricate, given that it literally attaches to a dead tree. The door is what catches your eye first. It's very tall, maybe 8 feet tall, to compensate, of course, for the size of the tree. The bottom half of the door is clean and dusted, and the polished wood shines in the daylight. However, about 4.5 feet up, the door is covered in dust and cobwebs.
Gris kind of, like, slowly pans upwards, tilts her head, and then she just nods, and she's like, this is someone my height.
Leon is standing behind Gris, looking at dust like, yeah, what gave it away?
Well, look, they
Don't-
took perfect care of this part of the door, but they're
Mhm.
just not tall enough.
Gris,
Ladders?
as you're looking at this, you also notice besides the stairs are a few kind of abandoned leather shoes. None are with any matches. They're just kind of scattered around the front.
Do you think more than one person, or just one person who has a lot of shoes?
I mean, I have a lot of shoes.
You also have a lot
Okay.
of money.
Meanwhile, Galen is yelling hello from behind you.
Oh no.
Can I make an attack roll?
Oh no.
Considering this is someone who booby trapped their home against trespassers, that's expected.
Who are you? Are you trying to aim for anyone in particular?
The tall red-haired one.
Okay, so you are aiming for
Is that
Leon.
me?
Leon, can you roll for surprise?
What's that?
Freeze.
Is that just
I've never made you guys roll surprise
No.
before. Oh, okay. So rolling for surprise is to determine if you are surprised by an attack.
okay?
Basically, it's like how quick you can react.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe the modifier is the wisdom is it the perception modifier? It's been so long.
I think so.
Yeah, so you're gonna add your
No, it's
perception
definitely
modifier.
charisma, obviously.
However, Leon, as you are standing at the base of the stairs, you need to roll with disadvantage.
Okay. So
Do we all roll or just Leon?
Just Leon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what? Just a straight d20, or
Yep.
do I just roll wisdom?
Roll perception.
Okay. 8 + 1, 9.
Yeah, you're surprised.
Yeah, great. I figured.
Go for it, man.
Character sheet. Okay.
I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
11.
Okay.
Leon, what's your AC?
Oh, 17.
Oh.
Oof. Mung, how would you like to attack, though?
It's a single, like, very long, slightly smelly sock that comes out the window.
God.
Gris, can you roll a dexterity saving throw, please?
Yeah. Oh man. 9 + 2, 11?
All right. It misses Leon. However, flying from a crack in the door comes a long, smelly sock, which smacks Gris in the face and kind of gets caught on her braid.
Leon
What
kind of like
is
dodges
this?
out of the way and like looks
are
up at the
you?
window.
Why are you here? Herman sent you? You want a Herman's rats?
Hello?
Technically,
like,
yes, but also technically no. Technically, I'm the only one who might be affiliated adjacent to Herman's Rugrats.
Uh-huh. So,
In the most technical sense of the word, I'm sure to you, we're trespassers.
Are
Well,
you
it
the owner of
depends.
these apples? And I sort of like hold up the apple basket.
the door opens a crack and like just a little green head peeks out around him. See the apples. Oh yeah, they weren't very good. You can have them.
Are you sure you don't want these?
Nah. You look like a person who could use some extra fruit in your diet. You
Why
got
does
some meat on your
everybody
bones.
say that? Why does everybody say that? I
I'm
turn to
just
everybody while I'm
scurvy.
saying that. Like, why does everybody think I'm skinny?
Gris chuckles and like tosses the
He's
sock
legend.
towards Galen, like jokingly, just kind of flings it over there. And she
Careful,
kind
little
of
one. You might knock him over with that.
Gris is like, who are you calling little? I see how high you can wash your door. You're also pretty small.
Yeah,
But your stairs are wonderful. They're quite beautiful.
I
Excellent
know.
job.
I'm very proud of them.
The railing is a nice touch.
Oh, thank you. Anyways,
Leon is like looking between them like are you Mung? Are you the one we're looking for?
Depends.
I mean, he knows
Why
Herman,
are you
so I
looking
figure.
for me? Are you here to give me more food? I don't really need more food. I can handle myself.
I think it's
We're
complicated.
here to find out about Tiphine.
Ah! Why didn't you say so? Come on in. Come in.
Okay.
Gris kind of
Would you
looks
like
back
your
at
sock
Leon and is
back?
like, nice job.
Thank you.
Next time, just lead with that. I like. Honestly, you youngins these days, you just. So he opens the door. He's a very old goblin. We're talking like wizened crone of a goblin. About 3 feet 4 inches tall. Bald head, light green yellow skin. Slightly too large eyes. Wrinkled faced, and just has some like kind of dirty robes on. They were purple at one point. Not really much anymore.
Indistinguishable now.
Yeah. He has a pouch on either side of his hips, and as he turns around to like lead you into the room, you can see he also has a scroll case strapped to his back.
So, do you follow Mung into his home?
Yeah, I think Gris probably
Yeah.
just walks right in. No qualms whatsoever.
Leon does as well. And as she walks in, I want to just do like divine sense and just see if I can like detect good or evil.
Go for it.
So it's literally just a thing. Like I just have like 5 of them to burn.
So you take a moment to do this, and the vibe here is totally neutral.
Okay.
Just the most neutral feeling you've ever felt. There is
Okay.
nothing good and nothing evil. It's just the inside of a burnt out tree and
Okay.
a little old man.
Okay.
So what does it look like? What are we looking
Oh,
at?
what a good
Yeah.
question. Wow. So, Gris, you follow Mung directly after him. You seem to have managed to kind of befriend him right off the bat, despite him attacking you when you entered. And so you kind of get the first look at his temple. The walls are obviously wooden. They're just kind of the inside of this tree. They're a little bit overgrown with ivy that creeps in from the cracks on the outside of the tree. There's a single armchair covered in ratty, tattered fabric and a layer of dust, and before it lies a long mat of woven reeds. Beneath your feet, as you enter into the room, there's a little carpet that's just covered in dust. You can't even really make out the colors of the faded fabric because the dust on it is so thick.
Wipe your feet, please.
Gris is like, yes. And she kind of like wipes her feet on the dirty rug and like she's like, this is just gonna add to it. It's just dirt
Leon
and mud.
casts prestidigitation to clean part of the rug.
Okay.
And then
yeah.
wipes her feet on the clean part.
Gris,
The rug's purple-ish. It's about the same shade as his robes. Gris, as you kind of like awkwardly wipe your feet, you also notice that next to the mat in front of the armchair is what appears to be like a tarnished brass sort of almost hookah pipe. The glass bowl on top is filled with some kind of sticky residue you don't recognize, and a burnt herb you do recognize.
Oh.
One of the shelf behind this kind of odd seating arrangement is covered with books, and the shelf covers the entire wall. There's a small step ladder kind of leaning against the books, presumably that this tiny goblin man uses to access the text. In the center of the room, around which the furniture is kind of awkwardly arranged, is the altar, as all temples must have. It's made of wood and looks a little precarious. It's not quite as well made as the stairs outside. However, balanced on top of it is a beautiful statue. It appears to be an elven woman, and her eyes are bound by cloth, so that she's supposed to be depicted almost kind of blind, you think. Wrapped around her body, which is largely naked, is a long red string that crosses over itself in multiple places. And so, yeah, do you all follow behind Gris?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. And when we get to the like wiping our feet on the rug, after seeing Leon do prestidigitation on the rug, I like poke her upper arm and I like point at my feet and I like rock back and forth. I'm like, I don't think the rug's gonna be useful. Could you?
Leon casts prestidigitation on Ari's feet.
Before I enter, I put like the basket of apples like to the side of the door, and then I take the sock that Gris threw at me and I put it over the doorknob. And then just
Like on the outside, so that
like you do
people
in
know?
college.
Like
yes,
if
exactly.
the burnt out tree's rockin', don't come a knockin' kind of
Yes.
Okay.
Well, can Gris roll a medicine check to see what the herb is that she recognizes?
Yes, absolutely.
That is medicine, right?
Yes.
1. I rolled 1, so I didn't.
You lean towards the herb, but as you do so, you kind of like trip a little and stumble forward, barely managing to catch yourself on the armchair's kind of arm.
Are you good?
Hey!
I'm sorry.
Watch this stuff.
I was just curious about your pipe. What do you have in here?
Yeah. What about it? What
are these herbs?
Why do you need to know?
Why wouldn't I
You're a
need to know?
customer.
She's from the Circle of Dreams. Leon is like just trying to explain.
What is Circle of Dreams? I'm from the Square of Clerics. I don't know.
Well,
What is that supposed to mean?
To get to the dream world, you smoke fairy fern. So I was kind of wondering if this is fairy fern.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So you've been
Oh, Ben, I lived.
in the dream realm?
Yeah.
You lived there?
Leon is very tuned in now.
Uh-huh.
What do you mean you lived there? Like you've
And
lived
when?
there and here?
Yeah.
I died there, by the way.
This is true.
He, as he's been snapping at you, has slowly taken a seat in the armchair. Upon hearing you died there, Mung leans forward and kind of puts a hand on a chin. How are you here then? You died? Your soul died? Your dream body died?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we went there. My dream body died, and then my husband brought me back.
We fulfilled a prophecy, and then we could get out.
Mm-hmm.
Gris is like, it's all kind of blurry to me, honestly.
I mean, you died, Gris.
I mean, I know I died. That's what Reese said, but I don't really know how he got me back, or how y'all got me back, or what even happened with your. Anyways,
It's not that easy to bring someone back who has died in the dream world. I'm honestly very surprised you're even standing here right now, or that your husband, who I have no idea what he did, but obviously he was able to do something to bring you back. Yeah, that's once you die in the dream world, it's a very difficult process to bring someone back, and it doesn't sound like you really went through it. So you're still kind of dead, like only partially dead, but dead. Good thing you guys came to me. Take a seat. He gestures towards the straw mats.
Leon is
I
blinking
poke-
at
yeah.
this man, like, what?
Gris is like looking at her hands, and she's like, "I'm dead."
Yeah, I lean down and I poke Gris sort of in reassurance, and then just like nod no, and I'm just like, no, like you're.
Gris touches her face and like turns to look up at Ari and is like, yeah. And then she just slowly sinks onto the mat.
What seating options are there?
There's a mat on the floor.
Leon looks at the mat. What's the dirt level of the mat?
It's pretty dusty. And
Okay.
it's got a little bit of like ash, presumably from this hookah thing.
Leon's
on
gonna
it.
just like really casually, quickly, just like prestidigitate just a space enough for her ass, and then she's gonna like
So quite a bit of space.
gingerly sit. Yeah, oh yeah, she's thick, so it's like quite a bit of space. She like casts prestidigitation at least 2
You
times.
should really just finish the job.
Gris is already sitting on this mat while you do that.
Yeah.
Gris is
I
like
don't
flexing her toes and fingers and like doesn't even notice. She's just like,
Leon just kind of like quickly cleans the rest of the mat with prestidigitation, just like grilling this guy, and then sits down. It's like, I've never been housekeeping in my life.
Well, under the mistress, all things are possible.
what do you mean it's impossible to or not?
I did not say impossible. I said very hard. Unlike you, I'm not stupid enough to get killed in the dream world. So
I was
I
seeing
know the
my
theory.
friends. It
So was
wasn't on
I.
purpose.
I spent most of my time there. And that's neither here nor there. It's it's dream world, so it's kind of in between. But that's more about theoretical. Let's talk brass tacks. When was the last time you were in the dream world?
About 3.5 months ago.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
months back.
Right. Have you tried to go back since?
Well, no, I figured I couldn't go back. I died.
Well, that's where you're mistaken. You see, you're dead, but also not quite dead. And it's what happens when you die in the dream world, according to what I have learned in my time there, is not so much that your soul is dead. It's separated. It's severed. The thread that ties you, your person, your body to your soul becomes cut.
Oh,
Your soul is out there somewhere.
just
It may have
floating around?
mutated. It may be wild. It may be lonely. It may be a ghost, a haunt. There are many things it could be, but if you were to find it and conduct a ritual with it, taming it once again, like you would tame a wild horse, perhaps, you could rebind it to your body. Of course, this would require some assistance because, as you hopefully know, taming a soul is not an easy task. It's something most of us spend our entire lives attempting to do and rarely, if ever, succeed.
But you're saying there's a chance that I could go back and I could get my soul. What if I go back and I don't get my soul?
Well, I've never personally had to do this ritual. I've only read about it in theoretical texts. However, were you to go back and attempt to subdue your soul and fail, I think you might just die.
Cool.
I think your soul, if your soul slays whatever remnant of your dream form you inhabit when you enter, you may just die. If
Leon
you're
grabs
lucky,
Gris's hand.
you might be driven insane.
I'm lucky.
If you're
That's
lucky. Yeah, I have only read about it, as I said, in theory. Never seen it in practice.
You
Yeah.
said most of all of you spend your lives trying to learn to tame ghost spirits, whatever it is you said. Who is us, or who else knows how to do what you're explaining?
No one else, just me. That's
So
why I said you came to the right person. That was more of a generalized statement saying, you're trying to tame the soul of a living being. It takes a while and it takes a lot of work. And I was trying to be, metaphorical. Perhaps I need to dumb
Sorry,
things down
I
a
tend
bit.
to take things quite literally, so that's not going to work.
Gris actually chuckles for like the first time in hearing Ari's response.
Understood. Mung takes a rip off the hookah. Just mid-conversation.
Gris kind of tilts her head.
says-
He's like, "Are you going now?"
Nah, I don't actually need this drug. It's just kind of fun.
Oh.
I like him. Galen says, just
Leon glares at Galen.
I appreciate your silence. You speak only when necessary. I like that.
I've learned.
Leon looks at Mung and says, "So you're an expert on the dream world, but
Mhm.
you worship Tiphine? What is
The mistress. Yes, I do. He reclines back into his very comfy seat.
The gods have gone silent, and I don't know how much you know about what's going on outside.
I know more than you do.
Probably, which is why we're here." And Leona's like, obviously. And she's like, we know that Tiphine fell, and we want to know what you know so that we can figure out what happened with the current gods.
Yeah, we heard you're searching for her. Is that right?
I have spent the last... He pauses for an uncomfortable amount of time.
Leona's just watching.
I spent a
him,
long time, he eventually says,
Yeah.
searching for her. I was there when she fell.
What?
I was in the dream world with her when she was removed, and when I was sent back here.
So the gods live in the dream world?
Somewhat. She's special.
Oh. You said you were sent back here?
Without her power to keep me there, I was forced back into my body.
What happened to her?
That I do not know. She has visited me on occasion through dreams. In broken fragments, I have learned a few things. When the gods first fell, well, they were not really... They didn't just fall, they were pushed. Something, I do not know what, I was not able to observe or ascertain, perhaps even interpret what it was. Whatever it was, it pushed the gods out.
Out of the dream world.
Out of everywhere. Forced them down onto the material plane.
And Leon says, do you think that's happened again?
Sort of.
What do you know
I
about
believe
what happened this time?
this time, in my most recent, well, recent by being a few years back, Tiphine, I assume, sent me another prophetic dream. In this dream, I saw beings of light and darkness, energy and power, clashing with something I could not comprehend, as though the entire pantheon, all pantheons, were at war. I don't know if they were at war with each other or at war with something else, but my guess is that whatever pushed them out in the first place has returned, and they were ready for it this time.
Leon says, and you
He
don't know what
starts
it
to
was?
twitch.
You don't know what it was that they were fighting?
Whatever it was beyond my mortal comprehension. It is something that I could not put to words, and so I cannot share.
So there's no like instruction manual. I was kind of hoping there'd just be like the last two lines. You know, I kind of hoped the last two lines of the song would just sort of tell us
what
how
song?
to fix this.
Oh,
The
good
song of the
point,
lizard who
Ari.
swallows the sun. It's what Herman gave us
that
most
one.
of it,
you
but
know the
we
last
were
one?
missing the last two lines, and so he sent us here to find them. I was kind of hoping that they were like the linchpin in this whole thing. That they were just going to be like, oh, go to this place, like it was with the volcano. Go to the volcano.
It was nice and
then,
easy, I agree.
Yeah.
Bung
I don't wanna
leans
go back
back
to
in the
volcano.
chair, takes another rip from the hookah as you're saying this, and the moment you pause at all, starts singing.
Okay.
The smoke clears, the battle won. A false ending, story not yet done. The Prince of Darkness won't ask twice. Victory cannot be bought, and magic comes with a price. She who fell once more ascends, fractured promise to make amends. The sky turns dark, the shadows grow, betrayal reaps what it did sow. A child's destiny unfurled, no heroes left to save the world. I've known this song for quite a while. What two lines were you missing? I thought I had all of them.
The last one's a child's destiny unfurled. No heroes left to save the world.
Oh. Well, now you know. Might want to tell that Herman guy about that too. Seems like he's kind of forgotten the classics.
The last 2 lines
Shame.
had been ripped out of his book.
Yeah.
Well, go rip them back in.
I don't think it works like that.
You know,
But we can copy them down onto another piece of parchment and then, like grab some sap and stuff and just like kind of glue them together. It's fine. It
Leon
works.
is pulling out the little notebook and she opens it up to the page where she had put the rest of that prophecy. And she kind of writes on that page the final 2 lines, which were a child's destiny unfurled, no heroes left to save the world, right?
Correct.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so Leon kind of like writes that down and closes the notebook back together and puts it back into her bag. And she looks at Mung and says, Did Tiphine make this prophecy? Does Tiphine make all of the prophecies? How does this work?
Tiphine is prophecy. So prophecies
Yes?
are just kind of my specialty.
Okay.
I know all of them. Or at least I like to think I do. I know too many things. And I try to forget most of them. It doesn't work. But yeah.
Considering a lot of them double as children's lullabies, perhaps consider rephrasing a couple of them sometimes.
Yeah, that one was pretty dark, wasn't it? Like, I'm kind of
Yeah.
thinking about it. No more heroes to save the world. Well, That's a little
ominous.
dark.
Not exactly the comforting tuck you in story you want to hear at night.
Well, for the longest time, people have been making stories and poems and fun of death. So it's not entirely surprising. I mean, there was that one about the plague a while back. Was it roses? Ashes and roses?
Oh, that one. And like singing it was a thing.
Yes.
Leon is just like, yeah, true. You do be right about that.
Chris is a little lost. She's probably not super familiar with a lot of these. And she's
I feel like plague isn't a thing in Dreamer's Grove.
There's not a lot of things that exist out here that are in Dreamer's Grove, no.
Galen is just like a fish out of water at this. He doesn't know anything. He's just here.
Do we know who
He's here for the reason. That's it.
Prince of Darkness is? That seems important.
That's a title claimed by a lot of people over the years. A lot of things. So, could be anything.
And then, are we looking for a child?
Leon
I'm confused.
looks to him and says, if we were to find Tiphine... This sounds crazy, I know. She looks at everyone else.
Yeah, no, we can totally do what Mung's been trying to do for...
But let's say we could.
He leans forward.
Not that I
almost
underestimate
like
our
falling
abilities.
off his chair. Go on.
Would she be able to provide more detail on the prophecy?
Yes. Yes. Presumably. She is, of course, the prophecy. Every prophecy, every fate, every destiny ran through her. Until, of course, she fell. And then things became more set in stone.
What do you mean set in stone?
When she was in power, when the mistress ruled, she held every... Think of her as a spider. She sat in a web of fate. Every living entity that would be, had been, and was threaded and run through her. She didn't change things, but she was there. She saw, she observed, and in rare circumstances would occasionally manipulate. But once a person's choice has been made, they are set. There are a few choices a person makes throughout their life that change their fate, that trim a thread out of the web. Once those are made, you can't reattach the thread. Destiny is blind to circumstance. Destiny is blind to karma. Destiny is blind to everything and anything. And the only creature that could, the only entity that could even hope to sway destiny in any way was Tiphine. Now that she is no longer ascended, nothing stops destiny.
Gris kind of turns and looks at the statue on the altar after hearing that. And she's like, is that why there's a red thread? Is that supposed to be destiny?
Or fate? Yes. Speaking of which, I normally offer services in exchange for donations, and kind of giving you a couple freebies. So,
how much?
Well, would you also want palm readings, or any of my other services?
What are your
I don't
other
think
services?
palm trees grow here.
I do palm readings. I do shiatsu massage, and on occasion, I have been known to do tours of the dream world. If you're interested in any of those, I have set prices for those. But for the prophecy stuff,
yeah, I think
you
just
know,
continuing to advise us on Tiphine would be fine. I can pay you in advance.
Can you teach cantrips?
What about
What about the dream world?
The dream world, yeah.
I can do a dream world trip. It sounds like you're planning on one anyways, since you're, dead.
Well, in that case, should we just get palm readings too? And Gris kind of looks at Leon and is like, if I'm dead and I'm going to die anyways.
Down at Gris and is like, do you want a palm reading?
Well, I've never had a palm reading.
Okay. How much is a palm reading? And I guess a dream world tour? Do you charge extra for reattaching a soul?
Having never done that, hold on a moment. He takes another rip off the hookah and just seems to be holding it in for a while.
Uh-huh. Leon is like, I can't believe I'm getting drifted right now.
Gris is excited for palm
120 gold should cover everything.
Okay.
Palm readings, we can just count the palm readings as many as you want.
Yeah.
The main thing is making sure I have enough of this here. He taps the top of the still slightly smoking hookah. Okay. Enough of this here herb for all of you less experienced travelers.
Oh, yeah. Jenny, that's a question. Do I have any left over? Or did we use it all?
No, you've used it all, but Mung seems to have his own source.
Okay.
Leon kind of fishes through her bag and pulls out 120 gold and hands it to Mung and is like,
"Oh, no, not me, her." There's a bowl at the feet of the altar.
Oh, that's nice.
Leon drops the large pile of gold into the bowl and sits back down on the ground.
Gris pats Leon's knee and she's like, "It's for a god. It's okay."
I'm not
Gris. Leon, can you add a modifier to or a note to your character sheet if any of your rolls are dependent on some kind of luck? If you're rolling for something that you need to be lucky to do, you now have advantage on those rolls.
Oh, let's go.
Was it the blessing of Tiphine?
We're gonna call this one Mung's Good Graces.
Oh, okay.
So I have advantage on all rolls that involve luck?
Yes.
Okay.
If there was ever a time to go to Fantasy Las Vegas, now it's now.
I'm still trying to get a trip to Fantasy Costco, but
okay.
None of these are canon.
So Leon sits back down and says, "Okay. Well, if we're going to the dream world. And she kind of looks at the rest of the party. It's like, should we warn him?
Oh.
Yeah?
About
When was the last time you went to the dream world, Mung?
Do you know the Gilded Sorcerer?
No.
Been about a decade,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 50 years. I don't know. Time kind of flies.
How do you feel
There's a
about
difference there.
sorcerers?
Do you know the Gilded
Dragons?
Sorcerer?
Sorcerers are just worse wizards. Dragons are oversized. I don't know, oversized lizards as well. So lizard wizards.
Wizard.
What about murderous dragon?
You don't know the Gilded Sorcerer?
Should I? And murderous dragons are particularly bad. They're like,
Okay.
angry lizards.
What if it was an angry lizard that tried to kill
have you met
its
lizards
daughter?
that aren't
I think
angry?
we're really zooming in on the dragon part, everyone. And maybe we shouldn't be zooming in on the dragon part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
He
you
was a
explained
dragon
then.
for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, but that was scary. That's how I died.
No,
Oh.
you were dead when he turned into a dragon.
Was I?
Yeah.
Damn.
Do you know the song of the dreamer at the end of the world?
Yes, he would be familiar with this. Sorry, I don't think I gave you a copy of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leon kind of looks at him and is like, so like we did the song of the dreamer at the end of the world. That was us.
That's the volcano I mentioned. See, I was hoping for an instruction manual type thing.
And my father is the Gilded Sorcerer. And the last time we were in the dream world, I tried to kill him. And then he flew away. And I don't know where he is.
Dragons tend to do that.
He wasn't a dragon at first. He was just a man. An elven man. And then he changed into a dragon.
I feel like he's more than just a man, though. He's kind of scary, and he's got this weird house. It's kind of gaudy, honestly. And
So, what I'm hearing is that if we go in there, there might be a big fuck off dragon with magical powers waiting to kill us.
Yes.
Well,
I would say it's probably a definite that someone's going to try to kill us, but may or may not be dragon.
There's a non-zero chance.
we don't
that
know
will
that
happen.
he's even going to be in the area that we go.
But you think
I
you
just
can go
wanted
to
to
the dream
warn
world,
you.
Leon, and your dad's not going to, like,
No.
no? He can't sense you or something? You'll have similar
That's
powers.
if he's still in the dream world.
I hope he is. I think.
Okay.
He has the crown. So
Well, we will be going to the in-between plane. So not just the not straight to the dream world, but some like the fugue plane in between the in-between.
Okay.
So
I'm less worried.
he
then.
could find us,
Oh,
but it's not quite the same, perhaps.
I'm not so much. I just wanted to let you know. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of everything before we did that. And she points at the hookah. That.
Fair. In that same vein, give me your hand. And he reaches out and just grabs the first hand offered.
Leon is
Chris
holding her
immediately.
hands.
Probably
So
gives you both.
I just need the one, just the one.
Okay.
And while like he just kind of gives you a hand massage while looking around at everybody else. So I know you might think palm reading is not necessarily accurate or real, but that's just because all the people that do it now don't really know the old ways. So give me a moment. And he just starts rubbing your hands together, creating like warm friction. He closes his eyes and just hums for a second.
Should I hum too?
You're fine, Chris.
He slaps your hand.
Oh.
The reading is complete. I am very sorry. I do not see a happy future for you. You
Uh,
are destined to lose everything.
You could have lied.
Gentler, maybe?
We aren't here for falsehoods. We're here to see fate, and unfortunately,
can you be more
I see a
specific?
village in flames. A cold, still hand wrapped around a carved wooden bird, kind of like that one around your neck. Sacrifice too large for a person so small. Right. Who wants next?
Leon puts her hand out.
Gris is
Alright.
kind of trembling and like trying to like.
Leon uses her other hand to hold Gris's hand.
Gris
So
is like,
she's got this going on right
Yeah,
now.
Arya's just gonna like rub Gris's back.
Gris is grateful, and she's like muttering like, "Dreamer's Grove, Reese."
It doesn't mean anything. It's fine.
Okay.
He takes your hand, Leon, rubs, does the warming, the humming. Curious. Your destiny burns. It's so large and powerful, but also angry and heartbroken. I see flames, power. I also see loss and rage. Somewhere in there, I see a single word. It comes to me through fire and smoke and light. Ascension.
Gris kind of squeezes Leon's hand briefly. Ascension.
Leon is just kind of watching him. Like, Strange.
Lots of fire.
Are we surprised?
Yeah, I mean, I know
Makes
you've made it
sense.
your whole thing, Leon, but you could roll back the brand a bit just to be safe.
Leon chuckles and it's like,
Maybe a little less tragedy too.
yes, thank you, Galen. I'll get right on that.
Unfortunately, tragedy is not really my choice in this. I simply tap into a little bit of the old Tiphine magic and get a little glimpse of the thread of fate for you. I did also see a branch that was cut recently from you. I'm going to
Branch.
take a quick moment. He hops off the chair, walks over to one of the books on the bookshelf, like climbs up the ladder, grabs a book, comes back, plops it down. We'll need this for later. All right, skinny boy, come here.
Galen hands over his hand reluctantly.
Oh, so clammy. Gotta warm up.
Can I, with my other hand, can I like point a finger gun at him and spritz him with some water?
There's no such thing as a gun, but you can point at him with a finger.
The same
In
gesture.
this shape.
In this shape.
Okay, it's not a finger gun
A
though.
finger
I'm
pointer.
clarifying.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Guns don't exist in our world.
Shakes off your water.
Manners, please.
We're talking about manners.
Huh. Really?
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh no.
You're in a very This is very curious. Unlike your erstwhile friends here, your fate is still open to determination. I see water and ice, desire, and a little bit of surviving despite difficult circumstances. Your life is as changeable as the tides. It goes in and it goes out. It changes upon itself as the waves beat upon a beach. But I don't see necessarily bad endings or good endings. I just see a void. A spot in your heart that may never be filled.
Oh.
I thought that one was going to be positive, but it doesn't sound very positive.
Did you see anything
Comparatively,
pink?
it's pretty positive.
Oh,
Do you see anything
fair.
pink? Maybe it's something with horns.
Pink with horns.
And a tail.
Tail?
Bit of an attitude.
No.
Like maybe Lucat, you see like a little bit, but it doesn't seem as significant to determination of the fate. So you're not very bothered with it.
Yeah. More importantly, I do see a branching of your fate in your future.
Okay.
There is a decision coming for you.
So
Oh,
does that
That's-
mean that
Hmm.
Leon and I have made that decision you were talking about? The one that changes everything. But Galen
I don't
hasn't?
know if you even had a decision in your life.
Oh.
But Leon, that being you, right? The
Yes.
points towards Leon. I
I
believe
had
you
a
just
choice.
made your choice.
Yeah. And Leon knows exactly what he's talking about. She's like, I did just make a choice.
This is fun. I like this. This is better than the tarot card readings. Those were a disaster.
Oh no.
Come on
Leon kind of
over,
looks
you,
to Ari and
what
is
else?
like,
What? Why would I want to? All of yours are sad.
We've
Well,
all
we've
done it.
we've been sad, so you have to join
yeah.
us.
I've also been sad. I
We've
don't
got
want
his
to join
company.
you.
Come
We're
on,
all
come
in
on.
this
Give me your hand.
together,
Give me your hand.
Ari.
I give it over
Maybe Gris is
reluctantly, and I'm
happy.
just like, and I look at him, and I'm like, ain't nothing you can tell me that I won't already be upset about, bub.
Right. Well, that's okay. And he starts rubbing. Wow. Rainbows. No, I'm joking. No, of course it's sad. Let's see. We got beautiful woman, human, dark hair. Apparently behind you or out of reach. Another beautiful girl, elven. She's waiting for someone to return from a war they never wanted to fight. Someone seeking redemption the hard way. But I think you actually might get a rainbow at the end. I am seeing a little, just a little bit of a chance at a happy ending, or at least a nice ending. Painful, perhaps, but nicer.
Ari just gives like a, and just like, all right,
Yeah,
and then
I
just
won
looks
that
to like Leah, like to the other three, and I'm like, all right, yeah, you can pay him for that.
Yeah, you
Gris,
won that
Gris,
one.
Gris like elbows Ariadne and is like, a chance!
I just go like, yeah, all right, I get it, like I don't know about this fate stuff.
Gris is like, well, that sounds better than a village on fire and cold hands around a chickadee.
Oh, it's a chickadee. Those are tasty. You ever had a chickadee?
No,
Chickadee fricassee?
my husband calls me chickadee. I don't think I could eat one. I also don't really eat meat. Fish are okay.
Leon
That explains why
looks
you're
to
so
him.
small.
Can
You were
Leon
saying-
look outside and see what
kettle.
time of day it is?
Yes, you absolutely can, Leon.
Quelle heure a-t-il?
I don't speak.
Sorry, what time is it?
Latin.
Latin?
I know that was French. I'm just being a shit. Leon, you kind of glance through the crack in the door frame and can see like golden orange light flooding the room. It's sunset.
Leon looks to Mung and says, I assume the same rules apply for the dream world with you as they did before, that we have to be there at night?
Yeah, I mean, we can stick to tradition if you really want to.
I'm going to defer to you on this one.
You mean you
All
can
right,
do
well-
it at other times too?
I've never really done it with other people, but like personally, yeah.
I mean,
I kinda-
wasn't Reese able to go without it being at night?
Well, yeah, he's a dreamwalker, but you're not a dreamwalker, are you? That's what I thought.
I don't need to be a dreamwalker. I am the high priestess. Well, priest of the only.
The title stands.
Are you okay? Do you need something to drink?
If you want to reduce it down to dreamwalker, then yes, I guess I am a dreamwalker. I am able to enter the dream world effectively at will, regardless of point, area, time, location, or drug.
Impressive.
He seems very incensed.
Leon is like, I think Gris is just going based off of terminology that she is most familiar with.
I didn't mean to offend you.
Well, that doesn't matter.
I'm sorry. Whatever you want to do, let's go. Do we have to go now? I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. Gris kind of scoots back away from the chair and away from him.
I'm sorry. I'm fine now. Just needed a little, calmer.
So Leon says, so when would you suggest we take our tour to retrieve Gris's soul?
Are there souvenirs this time?
Can't really bring much back with you, but I guess you could call Gris's soul a souvenir.
I will call it a great souvenir if we manage to bring it back.
I think that's a great souvenir. I'm just saying, if they're being advertised as tours,
Gris, Can we stick with some positivity here?
Yeah,
I
I don't even want to bring up the scars on your soul that will stay permanently.
What?
On my soul or all of our souls?
Well, and yours, it's a traumatic experience to lose your soul and then reattach it, but, I mean...
It's fine. It'll be fine. Gris, it'll be fine.
Am I going to be myself?
Yes. Once you bring your soul back, you will be more yourself than you are right now.
Okay.
Then let's do it.
Let's just wait till nighttime. Let's be safe.
Agreed. We're gonna maintain a positive aura. What was that book for?
Oh, instructions.
There is an instruction manual.
Perhaps I just wanted to make, illusions. Pulls out the book, flips through it. Right, so, unfortunately, Gris, you're going to have to go in first. It's very clear about this, but you have to lead the way. We then would follow you. We would then follow you in. We would all ideally arrive in the same place. I'll take care of that. And in this in-between plane, between the dream world and our world, your soul should manifest itself to you. It says here you must make peace or tame. Do not kill. I think that's pretty straightforward.
But it could kill me, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how do I tame it?
subdue it in some way?
Do I just
Can we
talk
bring
to it?
stuff with us? Can we
No,
bring that
you
chicken of the forest that you have? Maybe I think that'll tame the soul Gris, you know?
Gris chuckles and she's like, you can't bring anything in or out.
Yeah. We have our dream
Unfortunately,
selves.
this is true. You can't bring anything.
Because that's like the
in or
surefire
out.
way.
If you are very focused, you might be able to embody the chicken of the woods. What even is a chicken of the woods?
It's
It's
a
a
mushroom.
That last one hurt.
Are you okay?
Would you like some water?
I've been smoking for the last 200.
Would you like
300.
some healing?
I'd buy the mistress. I don't even know how long I've been doing this. I don't even know. I'm gonna drink some water though.
Gris is like, she's fully like,
Your lungs must look
unconvinced.
like my liver.
Oh my god.
Is your liver healthy?
Not at all. Not
No,
one bit.
friend.
No.
Oh well, then yes. Honestly, I should have died like a millennia ago or something. I don't even know how old I am at this point.
Do
I
you
just
think
haven't.
Tiphine's keeping you alive?
I hope. I mean, I want to see her again. I hope she wants to see me again.
Do you think she's walking on this plane? Do you think she's in Kraylin?
I think she's somewhere on this plane of existence. She's nowhere else to be found. I've searched everywhere else.
But do you think
So-
she's like a person you could stumble upon in Alis?
That seems most likely.
Oh,
Just,
really?
there's a lot of people. So
Would you
I-
recognize her if you
How
saw
would you
her?
know what she looked like?
Yeah.
I like to think I would.
What do you? So she could. Is this like a reincarnation thing?
No. Not really. This is more
Would
of
she
an
get to choose her
avatar.
form?
Not really either. I'm not an expert on fallen gods. You have to ask her if you ever found her. And if you do, let me know. I got
What was your last
some
clue
stuff to tell her.
to where she was?
I last saw her when we were in the dream world together.
Oh, so you have no idea where she is in Kraylin.
She was sucked away, and I was banished painfully back here and into my body. I have not
Okay.
seen her or spoken to her since. I have received the occasional message through dream, but those are always broken and do not share the same level of intimacy or connection we used to have.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, he looks a little dejected
Yeah.
talking about this.
Do you
So
think
then,
you'll have an ability to have a better connection with her when you're back in the dream world?
I hope so.
Hmm.
I miss her.
So your relationship wasn't just God and priest, was it?
To me, it was more. To her, I like to think it was special. The one mortal she chose to spend her existence with was me. And through her powers, I lived. I gained my own power, my own existence that few goblins could ever dream of. I have lived longer than beings are meant to live. I have spent more time in the dream world than anything, barring a god, I could know of. I have seen the world in so many forms, but I think the only thing that keeps me truly going is wanting to see her again. And perhaps that's her speaking to me.
Gris nods kind of knowingly. And then just kind of deep exhales and looks around the party. Like, so we're gonna go back to the dream world.
As you all reflect on the nature of Mung's words and kind of also this trepidation that you're feeling in potentially returning to the dream realm, night falls around you, and the tree becomes lit only by the few candles that hang from a quasi-chandelier in the center of the room.
Leon kind of looks around and says, well, if we're gonna.
Now's when we do it.
There's nothing we can do to prepare. Should we research? I just feel like I don't know how I will bring my soul back.
I think you will probably know once you actually face your soul. I don't think anyone can prepare anyone for that.
You are going to experience something perhaps unique in this entire existence. You will get to face your soul head on, manifest. You will know what to do.
Okay. Then let's go, I guess.
Mung takes the hookah, flops it down in the middle of the small semicircle of people on the woven mat, offers you all a different mouthpiece because we're safe about these sorts of things, and says, all right, light up.
Leon
So-
waits for Gris to go first.
How long should I wait for you?
So
Just-
I think wait until we arrive. I think the spirit will come to you when it is ready. We will be a few minutes behind you. I think 5, perhaps 10 minutes will be more than enough time. If you have to run, run. Wait for help if you need it, but
Okay.
We were separated last time and we found each other, but I'm sure
Yeah.
that won't even happen this time, so...
One can hope.
Fingers crossed. Gris kind of holds up the end of the hookah and takes a long drag and kind of closes her eyes.
All right. So, Gris, you close your eyes and you feel yourself fall asleep. It feels like you're falling backwards into darkness. You open your eyes and you find that you are lying on your back. It takes a few moments for your eyes to adjust. So at first, it's just pure blackness. You almost feel panicked, like maybe this didn't work and now you're wherever your soul goes when it dies. But as your eyes adjust, you realize that you're staring up at the most beautiful night sky you have ever seen. The stars glimmer like diamonds, and there's so many constellations that it feels like you can see the entire galaxy. It's only blocked slightly, but by what you can tell are sort of leaves from trees, though the space directly above you is mostly open, as if you're lying in some kind of clearing.
Oh, Chris kind of lays there a moment, I'm sure, gathering her bearings and cautiously and slowly sits up. And I imagine she would take a peek around.
All right, you are standing in a clearing. You are surrounded on all sides by the thickest growth of trees you've ever seen. It's almost as if they form walls. You wouldn't be able to fit your body in between the trunks of all of these trees. They form a near perfect circle, at the center of which you can see a campfire. It's burning very brightly, and around it are 4 logs. seated on one of the logs is what appears to be a person. Meanwhile, in the real world, it's been about 5 minutes since Gris presumably entered the dream world. She's fast asleep. Her head is on Ariadne's lap, and her feet are propped up on Galen's leg.
So
Shall
remember, hold it in until your vision starts to vibrate, then release. Otherwise, you won't get a full hit.
Leon kind of takes it and is like, I didn't like this the first time.
No.
Oh, you're
God.
gonna
And then
hate
she
it
just
now.
kind of takes a hit.
Mhm. Yeah, Ari just turns to Leon as she does that and just goes, I bet Marius is glad he didn't come with us this time, and then does it.
And kind of like as Leon is like preparing to lean back, and she's like, I'm not glad he didn't come with us this time. And just like lays down. She's like, I'd like him here. That man.
I sort of just like sit there and then just take my hit because this is nothing new. I've done this before. This is almost routine at this point. Just I just take my hit and then close my eyes.
Like
and
riding a
relax.
bike.
I don't need that.
I give you a bro look as you're fading.
I give one back.
Mung, you watch the party fall asleep. Leon, you fall asleep kind of curled over on top of Gris so that your chest kind of rests against her head, where her head lays on your lap. Ariadne sort of falls asleep in almost like a seated position, as if that's just what their body does now, is fall asleep as if they're meditating. Galen, you find yourself getting very sleepy and try to fall asleep in the most dignified way possible, but do wind up falling asleep on Ariadne's lap. You use like the last of your energy to like try to like get back up, and you just kind of like flop back down. Mom, you are the last one to enter the dream world.
Yep. I sit cross-legged on my chair, grab my staff from that's leaning behind it, and like put it across my lap. Observe the sleeping group in front of me. Think they're weirdly cute like this, and then basically astral project my body.
So you all awaken in the dream realm. In terms of the party, you all look the same as before, with the exception of Gris, who looks just as she does in real life. Leon, however, her dream form has taken on a few new features. There are red scales across portions of her face and the exposed parts of her arms, and a pair of large leathery wings on her back. Galen, you look very much the same, though the locket at your chest is more polished than last time. Ariadne, you look the same, though your flask did not accompany you this time into the world.
Oh. Leon kind of like is like, something feels weird.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
What?
Ah, nice.
Is Gris nearby? Did she see them arriving?
Galen sort of just like shakily points at Leon. And is
Yes,
like,
Gris, your friends are now standing behind you, and you turn when you hear Galen say, "Holy shit!"
And Gris turns and looks at Leon and says, "Oh,
It escalated, didn't it?
yeah."
Like father, like daughter.
Yeah, that's a development.
And Leon kind of like turns back, and I presume the wings are big enough that she can like see.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She's like, oh,
Can you use them?
can I test?
Yes, you can test.
I would
them.
like to try to fly.
Leon, you beat your wings several times. You have never done this before, but you managed to get about 1.5 feet off the ground before you get tired.
All right, it's gonna need some work. Leon is like, okay, well, I can fly here now.
Gris kind of like chuckles and almost reaches
I'd call
out to
it
touch them.
hovering more like.
Yeah, go for it. And Leon kind of like tilts it and like tries to like move the wing towards Gris and is like, yeah, touch it. Tell me how it feels.
Gris
Hey,
is like,
watch it, watch it.
Sorry.
Chris, Constitution saving throw.
Oh, no.
Leon, what did you
I don't
do
have
to
control
Gris?
over my wings yet.
Oh, 16 plus 3, 19?
That's it.
Okay. You manage to dodge them as one of the wings kind of like swings to your head, but it does touch your face and it burns a little bit, but not really badly. It just kind of feels uncomfortable.
Gris just kind of, maybe I shouldn't touch them.
What? What's wrong with them?
They're a little warm. A little bit
Leon
like
goes
fire.
to touch her own wing.
They feel totally normal to you, Leon.
It feels fine.
No, it was definitely hot. And she kind of rubs her forehead. And then she turns and she's like, oh, I forgot. I think there's somebody at the fire.
Mung, you've arrived. I didn't write down the description of your dream appearance, if you want to describe that too.
Yeah. So Mung looks very similar-ish, but like there's a few major changes. First, he got a little taller. He's now 3'7". His head is fully bald. There's no like little wisps of hair, but instead it's like it's got this green skin with creamy brown textured armor plates on the top of it. His face is exposed, though his nose has gone a bit longer and pointier as well. His skin, where it was once like wrinkled and pockmarked, is now completely smoothed, and you can see running up and down his now partially exposed chest and arms, because he has a very deep V-neck in his robes, are more of these same creamy brown armor plates that seem to just cover up parts of his skin. The hem of his robe is also farther up off the ground and divided in the middle, so it's more loose and open to movement. And you can see, instead of like the normal like kind of floppy goblin feet that you'd expect, he's got two stubby, round, brown, creamy, armored feet as well. No boots or shoes, just big, thick feet.
Leon.
He also has a staff in one hand.
What?
How'd you get a staff?
What are the scales?
I've been here a while. The staff is just part of me.
But
the scales, I mean, look at you. You got scales too. It's just sometimes you reveal a little bit of your inner entity. And the dream world allows you to express yourself in certain ways. It looks like you, like I said before, like father, like daughter, have a bit of dragon in you somewhere. Looks kind of
what gave it
red.
away? Was it the wings?
Yeah, he taps one of the wings with the tip of his staff. Looks like you might be a little fiery.
And
me,
are
on the other
Leon's
hand, I got
are
armadillo.
Leon's eyes still totally red?
Yep, they are. So Leon's eyes are instead of the whites of her eyes are red, and then her irises are just pure gold, and her pupils are in the shapes of slits.
I just turn to Leon and say, I think it'd be fine with the rest of it if it wasn't for your eyes. I mean, it's no. And I just like
still...
make a show of like not like looking like
they're still the way they were.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're kind of cool though. Like they're scary, but there's something primal about them. Very animal in nature. I like it. And Gris kind of looks and she's like, "Oh, I'm not young."
That may have to do with your soul.
Maybe.
Does Galen still have the Triton guard armor on?
Yes.
Leon looks at Galen and is like, "The armor's looking as good as ever."
Galen sort of like gracefully bows.
Leon
Just
curtsies back, tries
"Thank
to be
you, my
graceful,
lady."
still kind of freaked out by her wings.
So
you now have disadvantage on dexterity checks.
I was gonna
and
say
saving throws. Yeah.
I was gonna say probably for a little while, because like this is like a whole new. How much would wings weigh?
Too much.
Yeah.
Too
so
much.
She's probably off balance.
Yeah. So you're all
my
standing
dex
there.
is good anyways.
So I think Gris would once again bring up, I think there's a person waiting at the fire. I don't know if it's my soul, but maybe we should check it out.
Yeah, you're supposed to lead us. And Leon looks at Mung and is like, right?
Gris is like,
Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
I don't usually lead the party.
I know.
Okay. So
Big
Gris kind of squints at Galen and just kind of, yeah. And then she heads towards the fire to see who's waiting.
Leon
So-
actually waits until everybody else goes because she's got giant wings now and wants to make sure that no one gets blocked.
So, do the rest of you follow Gris like a few feet back, or do you wait for her to go initiate conversation before you head over there?
I sort of keep pace.
So you're gonna follow shortly behind her?
Mhm.
Yeah, just a little bit behind.
Gris,
I move slowly.
Okay, awesome. Little armadillo man. So Leon, you follow behind Mung, kind of like awkwardly trying to maneuver with your wings. Gris, as you approach the fire, you smell something familiar. It smells like roasting mushrooms, seasoned with herbs. As you approach, whoever is the fire turns around to look at you. It's a young girl, maybe 10 years old. She's a halfling, and her eyes are the same shade as yours, though her hair is curly and dark. And when she smiles up at you, it reminds you a lot of someone. And she goes, "Mama, you made it."
Hi. I made it?
You made it. You told me to wait right here while you were gone. You were gone a long time, so I thought I would make the mushrooms for you.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
They smell wonderful. And Gris kind of goes in and sits down next to the girl and kind of just turns and like looks at her and takes her all in. And she's like, "Where did I say I was going?"
You were going out to bring flowers to Daddy's grave.
I was to Daddy's grave.
Yeah.
And Gris kind of reaches out and like grabs her hand, and she's just like, I hit my head. Remind me your name?
You forgot my name, Mama?
Oh, I didn't forget it. I just like it when you say it.
Oh. Well, my name's Lavender, but you always call me Chicken of the Woods.
Gris kind of just smiles, and she's like, "And your dad? His name was Reese?"
Yes. I miss him. You miss him too. I don't know if you forgot about that, but you miss him too. You cry a lot.
I do, a lot. How long has he been gone?
Well, I'm 9.5 and 6 days, and so, he was 40, so, 7 years? I've always struggled with math.
Me too, sweetie, me too. And Gris kind of reaches out and like tucks some hair behind her ear and kind of like pulls her close and like just like hugs her tightly. And she's like, "Well, I'm here now, and the mushrooms they smell wonderful. Thanks for cooking them."
Of course, Mama, I love you.
I think at this point Gris is like absolute tears streaming down her face, and she's probably trembling a little bit. And she's like, "I love
Mama,
you
why are
too."
you crying?
And she's like, "Because I love you so much, Chickadee."
What? So why are you crying?
Because sometimes when you love someone, it just hurts so good.
Oh. Okay.
Like how you feel when you think of Dad.
Oh. I make you sad like that too?
No, you don't make me sad at all. Not at all. Quite the opposite, actually.
Okay, Mama.
You make me very happy.
Thank you, Mama. You make me happy too. You brought friends.
Yeah, baby, I did. And Gris kind of turns to look at her party. And she's like, this is my daughter.
Oh my god. I Leon almost goes in to say something and then is like, I'm gonna scare the kid.
Gris is like, oh. And so she like kind of starts with I guess Galen or Ariadne, whoever's closest, and she's like, this is my friend Galen, and this is Ariadne, but you can call them Ari. And she points to Mung, and it's like, our new friend Mung. And in the back
He's
there,
short like us.
he's short like us, yes, exactly. And the tall one in the back with the very interesting eyes is the wonderful Lady Leon LaBelle.
Hi. Leon kind of waves, trying to be like, I'm not scary.
Gris kind of squeezes her hands, like, don't worry, like, you know, they're all good.
Mama, she looks like nightmares.
Oh. And Gris is like, well, shit, you know, like, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong, kid.
And Gris, like, once again kind of strokes her hair, and she's like, you know, sometimes people look different than they actually are. And she's actually the opposite of nightmares. She's strong, and she's kind, and she takes control in any situation.
Just like you, Mama.
Gris, like, is like, oh, baby, no. She's like, it's kind of you to say.
Well, you always told me I'm kind.
You are kind. And thoughtful. And
Mama,
yeah,
why was a bonk on the head enough to make you forget me?
I didn't forget you.
You didn't know my name.
And she kind of like looks around at the party, like kind of searching, like, this is my soul, right? Like, how do I? And she's just like, doesn't know how to like say it. And she's like, I don't know that you exist where I'm from.
What do you mean? You're from right here. You live here with me. You take care of me. You feed me, and you taught me about mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And we go and we put flowers on Daddy's grave every single day. What do you mean? Where are you from? You're from right here. You were only gone for a few hours. You're from right here. You're here with me all the time. You're from right here, Mama.
Leon leans down to Mung and says, is this her soul, or has her soul created something here?
Does she have a daughter?
No.
Is her husband dead?
No.
I think this could be either her soul reduced to her future child,
Okay.
or this could be her soul creating something.
that it
And
wants.
this is its own entity.
I lean over and whisper as well, like lean back and whisper, she can't have, I mean,
Yeah.
she might have created,
I
she
know
can't have, she can't
it's
have
what
them.
she's always wanted. So it would make sense for her soul to make it happen.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Really not sure. The soul is such a malleable thing. Best I can say is she's going. Maybe she can find a way to
Figure it out.
comfort the child.
Yeah.
Gris kind of turns to her again and says, you're right, baby. I'm very tired. It was a long walk to see your father's grave and to place the flowers, and I'm just very tired. Maybe if I eat something and maybe we just talk for a little bit, I'll feel back to normal in no time.
Okay, Mama. Well, I made mushrooms.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
And Gris goes to take them off the fire, and I guess looks around to see if there's anything to like serve them on or just eat them straight out of whatever they were cooking on.
They were cooking on kind of a spit, and there's nothing to really transfer them to.
Gotcha. Gris kind of holds on to the like stick that they're skewered on and says, "We have to wait for them to cool. We don't want to burn our mouths, right?"
I guess. I like to eat them when they're hot because I love mushrooms so much.
Me too. And Gris slowly picks one off, like touching it to like check the temperature, and hands it to the little girl, and then takes another one off and takes a bite herself. And she's like, "Remind me why we're here, baby. Why are we in the middle of the woods?"
Well, you told me that it's because you wanted me more than anything else, and this was the only place that could happen.
That's right. That makes perfect sense. So we live here?
We live here, yes, but, you went for a walk, and you didn't come back for a long time, and I felt very lonely, and, I missed you.
It must have been really hard. I'm sorry I was gone for so long.
That's okay, Mama, I'm not real.
You're not real? Of course you're real. What do you mean?
Leon looks at Galen.
Galen looks back at Leo.
And then Leon looks at Ari.
Yeah. Ari looks back at Leon.
Can I make a
not real,
perception check
Mama.
to look around?
Yes, you can. We got like 8 perception checks at the beginning of the game, and y'all have just trusted me from here on out.
You gave me a child.
22.
Bless up.
Okay, all right. You take a look around the clearing. You really don't see anything out of the ordinary. There's a stray log that looks like it's been rolled away from the fire, against one of the kind of almost walls, the quasi walls formed by these trees growing together.
Okay.
You do notice that the child's form is changing slightly the longer you look at it. You're not sure if everyone else is seeing this or if it's just you, having been in the dream world before and kind of being able to recognize. It sort of flits in between a child who looks a little bit like Gris and a child who looks identical to her.
Mm-hmm. Can I also make an insight check on the child?
Yes.
Specifically the statement that she's not real.
Yes.
All right, so I rolled a 2, so that's 22.
I forgot that we made your modifiers for wisdom ridiculous. What can we? Is the number for that 69? Does he have 69 wisdom or something?
We joked about it, but I decided I didn't do that because that's absurd. So I only did a 28.
Okay.
Okay.
No
So-
big, just casual.
The child seems to understand that she's not real. From what you can tell, she appears to be some kind of manifestation of a soul's greatest loss and greatest wish. And so you do kind of start to realize that the child is aware that it does not exist, but also doesn't seem to want to let Gris let go of her.
Okay. I'll start to sidle up next to Gris and the child.
Gris kind of turns and looks at Mung and says, "Did you need something?"
Yeah. Can I take you over here for a second? Hey, what was your name again? Chicken?
My name's
that right?
Lavender.
Lavender,
Don't call me a
right.
chicken, Mr. Armadillo.
Right, well, I bet you're not a chicken, because you'll go talk to that dragon lady over there. You said she was scary, right? Prove you're not a chicken.
Okay, Mama, can I go talk to the dragon lady?
Gris kind of strokes her head and says, yeah, go get to know Leon. I think you'll be
She gives
pleasantly
you-
surprised.
A quick, tight side hug, and then, like, runs over to Leon, like, hi, dragon lady.
Gris
The
kind of
moment
lets
she's
her
gone.
run over there.
The moment she's gone, I grab Gris by the shoulder, turn her so that our backs are facing the child. So that's not actually your child. That is a manifestation of your soul's grief and loss. Did you lose a child?
I can't have children.
That would explain things. I am sorry to hear that. Also, either way, I believe this may be either a aspect of your shattered soul that doesn't want that both represents your loss and does not want you to let it go, or it may be your entire soul. I have a sneaking suspicion it's just one piece of a larger puzzle.
So she's not my whole soul. She's something
I
my
think-
soul created?
I think she's part of your soul.
So it's split up?
I think that might be possible. I think when your soul, your dream world form died, it shattered, and fragments of it have gained sentience in different ways, have formed themselves in different ways.
Okay. How do I tame a young girl? She says she's not real and she knows she's not real.
She knows, but she doesn't want you to admit it. That much is obvious. I would suggest maybe we stay here for a little while. Wait until nighttime, and you two sleep together. You know, she cuddles up next to you, you sleep, you rest a while. She voluntarily goes unconscious, at which point, hopefully, you would be able to absorb her back into you. Because ideally, the pieces of your soul will be incapacitated. I just feel awkward suggesting we knock your not daughter out.
So we give her some normalcy. A
Exactly.
little bit.
And I think, looking at you, this is also something you want. We got time. Time's weird here.
Yeah. Gris kind of looks back at her to see her talking to Leon.
I'm scared of your eyeballs.
I think a lot of people are. They don't usually look like this.
What do they usually look like?
They're like
Like
blue
mine or
gray.
Galen's or yours.
They're like normal.
Normal.
Oh,
It's just because we're here.
okay.
Yeah.
Gris
normal.
kind
Why
of
do you
calls
have
over
wings?
and she's like, do you guys want to come sit by the fire?
Yes, Mama. I want to eat the mushroom.
Yeah, let's eat the mushrooms and you can get to know my friends. How about that?
Okay, but we're still gonna have bedtime, right? Because you told me that bedtime is very important for growing halflings.
Of course, we won't stay up too late. Just some quick chatter and some dinner and then bedtime.
Okay, Mama. I love you.
I love you too. And she just kind of like pats the section next to her on the log and like calls her over and hands her another mushroom.
Leon waits for everyone to sit down. And then finds a bench like pretty far away from everyone else. Because she like really doesn't want to hit people with her wings.
Monk sits next to Leon.
Monk has no fear.
You seem to be going through some changes. Allow me to tell you about them.
Please, do you have insight? And she kind of looks at him shocked.
I mean, I have scales here.
Yeah, yes, the armadillo thing you mentioned.
So, Mama, why did you bring your friends? I've never heard of them before. You've never told me about friends.
Well, I thought you'd like to meet them because I consider them family, just like you.
I thought I was your only family.
Sometimes in life we can meet other people and make them our family too.
Oh, so, elf person, my mama is your mama.
Oh.
Ari's bread
chuckles.
yeah, hitches a little bit and then just like is kind of flustered and then go, I'm actually twice as old as your mama.
Gris nods at Lavender and she's like, think of it more like, less like a role, like you being a daughter and me being a mother, and more of someone who you trust and depend on and who
like
keeps
mama.
you safe. Yeah,
Like a mama.
Like a mama,
So-
but not called a mama.
So are you the mama to the scary guy with the hair?
And she like looks at Galen and she's like, not his, like I said, not his mama.
Really? Because he looks at you like you're his mama.
Gris is like, oh. She kind of looks at Galen and she's like, would you like to see him do something cool?
I think that you think of him like your baby, which is okay because I'm not real, but you have so many babies already, and you have me. Why do you need other babies?
What's your favorite animal? Your name was Lavender, right?
I like chickadees and armadillos now. I like armadillos now.
I hold up my hand and I make a chickadee out of water.
I don't like that.
Okay.
Gris kind of cackles and she's like, okay. Well, maybe it's time for bed. Are you tired?
Yes, but only if you tell me a bedtime story while you cuddle me.
Okay. What kind of bedtime story do you want to hear?
I want to hear the story of how you fell in love with Daddy.
It's a great one. I'll tell you all about it. Okay?
Okay, but we're gonna snuggle? You're gonna snuggle me?
Yes, let's go snuggle. Is there like a bedroll or something?
You turn, and as you turn, a like large feather mattressed bed appears in the middle of this clearing.
Oh. Gris kind of is startled, but she grabs the little girl's hand and kind of walks over, and she's like, all right, we'll crawl up in. I'll come on in after you, okay?
Okay, Mama.
Gris kind of...
Mung kind of rounds up everybody and steps a little bit away, give a little space.
Yeah, Leon like follows last. Again. Very conscious.
Gris kind of hops up on the bed.
Pippin
Yeah,
is
I
in
realized I was muted. I just turn to Leon and go, "You're never last."
I don't want to hit you all with them. Apparently they're hot.
I like go back a little, like look very confused. I'm like, I
don't want to burn.
I mean, I'm not saying that you're not hot, but I don't think the wings make you hot.
No, I mean, I think the wings are literally hot. I think they're hot to the touch.
Oh.
Sorry.
I will impulsively poke one, and I know that means I'm gonna do a saving throw, but
Yeah, could you do a con?
but I
saving
can't
throw?
say that Ari wouldn't poke them.
Yeah.
Like I can't, as a player, negate that Ari would poke them. It's con, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, it's also a 7 + 2, 9.
You get a little burning blister at the end of your
finger.
I pulled my finger back quickly. I frown at it, and I'm like, "Yeah, that was hot."
Yeah. Are you okay?
And I turn around and show my finger.
Leon,
And I'm
Leon uses her lay on hands pool just to heal the blister really fast because she feels bad.
Oh, you're gonna use lay on hands? I mean, I didn't tell them that they took any damage.
It's okay. I just want to heal the blister. I got 15. We're good.
Okay.
I'll use just one lay on hands pool hit point to just heal the blister.
So you're all gathered around Mung.
Mhm.
Sort of watching Ari and Leon nurse Ari's wounds.
This moment is very important, so I figured we should
We
separate.
should. Yes, I agree.
This is when the ritual bonding, I think, will occur.
Do you need me to block the vision? I can do that.
I feel like that's thematic, and yeah, why not?
Leo kind of positions herself and stretches her wing out to block their vision.
Galen turns around.
Gris, this leaves you climbing into the bed with Lavender.
Yeah, so she climbs up into the bed and kind of pulls Lavender kind of halfway into her lap where she can kind of stroke her head and she can get kind of comfy and fall asleep. And Gris kind of says, "All right, well, when I met your father, was not much older than you are right now, actually."
Really, Mama?
Really. We grew up in the same village, attended a lot of the same classes from the same elders. We would go and fetch water and wood and mushrooms from the forest to help out however we could. And your father was resilient and unafraid, I guess I would say, because I don't think I was quite as nice as I am now back then.
Did you love him right away?
I don't think I knew I did.
Oh.
I think in my heart, absolutely. But I think my brain told me something different.
And
Because
did you
I-
love me right away?
Oh, the moment I met you. The moment I saw you.
Okay, go on.
So, anytime we would have to go do something, your father would find a way to make sure that he had to go do the same thing. If I had to go pick up wood and things from the forest for the fire, Reese was right there with me. If I was brushing cows in my yard, Reese was for some reason also brushing the cows in my yard. And he just was always there and kind. And I can remember the first time he asked me, kind of on a date, now that I think about it, but he didn't forthright say a date. He said, "Gris, I found this really cool clearing, and at night, when you look up, you can see the stars and
Like
the
you can here?
constellations, just like here, a clearing where the sky is the brightest and the stars are beaming." And I said no at first, but he followed me around all day, and said, "I promise, Gris, it'll be worth it. We'll bring mushrooms, we'll hang out in the woods, and we won't stay out too late. We won't stay out too late." And so finally, I agreed. And much like you and I are here, we laid on our backs and stared up at the sky, and we just talked. And laughed about the day, laughed about our parents and our siblings. Well, his siblings. I don't have any siblings. And we joked about the cows and the pasture and things like that. And I think that's when I knew I loved him.
Oh. I like that story, Mama.
But it was several years later, though, when we actually decided to get married. And I think he just wore me down. And Chris kind of just pats her shoulder, and she's like, "Sometimes we resist the love we deserve just because we're stubborn."
Oh. Will you, Mama?
Mm-hmm.
Mama, I love Daddy too. Will you tell him for me?
Of course I will, baby.
Okay.
I'll tell them all about you.
And Mama, I love you.
I love you too, Lavender.
And I wanted you too, more than anything.
I wanted you the most.
Good night, Mama. I love you. I always love you.
Good night, Chickadee. I love you.
Gris and Lavender curl up in the bed as the stars twinkle overhead. And, Leon, as you stand there, you cast one look over to your halfling friend over your shoulder because you're nosy and you just can't resist.
That's true.
And, you see Gris fast asleep, holding a little girl. And the little girl glows silver. Not in the moonlight, but from somewhere within her. We'll be back next week at 6 p.m. MST, 8 p.m. EST. I have to go write a formal apology to Doe now.
Yeah.
Mung will be back next week too, so I hope you liked him.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
That was
thank
fun.
you for being
Mung is
here.
awesome.
Man, I gotta ruin so much.
I'm glad we started with
Armadillo
comedy
Man.
because that's a good term.
We'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you soon.
We love you all. Good night, Ryan.